Yeah, hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Let's talk internet computer. My name is Javier Arroyo Ferrer, marketing contractor at Definity Foundation and a major contribution to the ICP blockchain. Today, in our second episode, we are going to talk about GoBazzinga, a social media and content speculator platform built on the blockchain on internet computer. On-chain, where the users are rewarding in a different ways, using their own content, interact with other content, even speculating on the performance of the participating creators, or simply spending time on the platform. That's really cool. Our guests on this special day are part of the founding team of GoBazzinga. We have the pleasure to having with us Utkarsh Goyal. Welcome, Utkarsh.
Hi, Javier. Thank you so much for having me over here.
Yeah,
really excited
so much for coming in.
Talk to you and talk about the project overall. Yes.
Yeah, nice to hear you. Yeah, first of all, I would like to you introduce yourself to the audience and know more about your story, about your background before start GoBazzinga.
Sure. So I am one of the three founders at GoBazzinga, and I'm a serial entrepreneur myself. So GoBazzinga is my third venture, in the startup world. So trying to figure out, ways to build companies and products and solutions since 2018. Prior to which I was working as an investment banker in India, in Mumbai. So worked over there for around 2 years before, after my MBA, before I just decided to jump the ship and, get on board the entrepreneurial bandwagon. So since then, just trying to figure out, problems and how to find novel solutions to them. Whether, in the Web 2 world and now obviously in the Web 3 world, we're trying to figure out how do we basically make the social media ecosystem far more equitable than what it is.
Oh, okay, great. Sounds good. And also, yeah, you're an entrepreneur. You have experience in banking, right? In investments.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, the diploma in accounting here in Vancouver, right? In UBC.
Right. Absolutely.
The University of British Columbia. That's really cool. And yeah, this is your background. And what happened after? I know, like in the COVID period, you start GoBazzinga from the scratch. How you decide to create the company exactly? What was the first thought in your mind? I need to create something like revolutionary, something like disruptive. How it was the process in the first steps?
Right. So to understand that, I think let's just go a little before the COVID as well. So before the pandemic, we were building a solution for weddings in India, weddings and hospitality sector. And hence, we were interacting with a whole lot of, influencers and creators on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and other social media channels. Now, during the pandemic, obviously, that business got shut down because of the slump in the hospitality. However, during the pandemic, we saw that a lot of creators or a lot of people turned towards social media to, either augment their income or to generate, their primary source of income, having been devoid of the jobs that they were doing. While having spoken to a lot of these people, we realized that though it may seem very lucrative from the outside, creating content and creating money or generating money for yourself, it is not an easy process. It's a significantly long drawn out process, right? So on an average, somebody, if I start content creation today, or maybe somebody who started in 2020 during the pandemic, they would have taken at least 18 months before they could earn their first dollar. Wow. Now imagine that is a long time, somebody puts in creating content and a lot of effort that a person puts in before they're able to earn their first dollar, not even a sizable income, just the first dollar, right? So that is where, we thought of how do we help these creators? The idea was to how do we help these creators shorten this time? How do we get this from 18 months to maybe 18 hours, right? Yeah. So we were trying out with different solutions, and that is where, we started exploring the blockchain world, because we know that the ability to tokenize and all of those things basically enable us to generate rewards or generate income for these creators very quickly, right? Starting off from the creators, and then we started, devising the solution and formulating what the solution can be. We found out also that creators is actually a very small portion of the social media ecosystem. So of whatever 4.5 billion users that we have across social media systems, only around 50 million of them are creators. The remaining of them are passive observers, or as we like to call them, lurkers.
Yeah, users, right? That's observers.
Right. So they just lurk. What their job is to just sit on, Instagram or TikTok and just spend hours and hours doing absolutely nothing, just scrolling and whiling their time away.
Yeah.
The problem is, when you look at the social media ecosystem, it's a very skewed system, right? The companies are selling this attention of the user and generating billions, while the users are actually not getting anything out of it. Right? So if I spend, let's say, 3 hours on Instagram today, Instagram would turn my 3 hours into billions of dollars of ad revenue for themselves. But then I, as a user, I'm not getting anything out of it. Though it is my attention and my time which is being monetized.
Yeah. No,
so looking at this problem, this is then, we shifted from creators to the overall social media ecosystem. And that is where, GoBazzinga got the shape that it is in present right now, in terms of the value proposition, in terms of, the solution that we are trying to get into the market or that we are working towards.
Okay. Nice. And for you, what is it? Because the GoBazzinga is running 100% on chain on the Internet Computer Protocol. What is the benefit to running GoBazzinga? Yeah, maybe it's more a question for the IT guy, right? Or the software developer. but for you, what is the benefits to running on GoBazzinga on Internet Computer, a decentralized? I think it's decentralized dApps in open source. 100% on chain, and compared with maybe with other blockchains, what do you think about the ICP and everything regards with that?
Right. So there are quite a lot of benefits. So something as simple as if you compare it with, let's say, the other blockchains, so something like an Ethereum or a Cardano or other blockchains, right? The one major benefit that we get is the user experience is not hampered. So, for example, a Web2 user who comes onto, let's say, our platform, apart from the tokens bit, which he or she might find a little, difficult to navigate or new to navigate to, the remaining experience is absolutely the same, despite the entire application being on chain, right? The user experience, because of, being able to run at web speeds and all of that, the user experience, which is actually paramount when we talk about a social media application, that we are able to maintain despite being completely on chain, right? Which would obviously not be possible on something like an Ethereum or Ethereum, wherein the user has to incur the gas fees for even transacting with the platform or even opening up and exploring the platform. So certain features, like the reverse gas fee model of ICP or the ability to work at web speed, allows us to basically maintain that user experience. Now, that being said, on the flip side, if you look at it, another major advantage of building on ICP and having the entire app on chain is that we are not held hostage to any of these Googles and AWSs of the world, right? So for example, there was this episode about Uniswap, wherein AWS stood up and told Uniswap that you have to delist this 80-90 currencies or tokens, or else we'll shut you down. Now, despite being a decentralized app, because it was hosted on AWS, they could not help but do that or comply to their directive. Now, these kind of hostage situations are not possible on ICP. Nobody can stand up and tomorrow tell me that, GoBazzinga, if you don't pull out this content, we'll shut you down. That's not possible because of the decentralized nature of the servers and, the nodes on IC. So, yeah, two major advantages. And obviously, the cost then becomes an economic a major economic consideration for us, being a startup or being a company in general. Hosting the same kind of data on maybe an Ethereum would cost us millions of dollars, what we can do in maybe a couple of dollars on ICP. Yeah. So again, the chain is actually quite beneficial to us, and we did arrive at it, having done a lot of research. So the technology co-founder Shoiker, I don't know, he went through, I think, every possible chain to understand what we should pick up, and before we even picked it up. Because I remember we started off in February 21. At that time, IC was not even there. When the Genesis block had not happened, right? So when we started building on ICP in, I think, June or July, it was still a fairly nascent project, right? But having, gone through all the features and everything of ICP, we felt that, this is actually the right chain for us. And despite it being a new, a fairly new project, we were very confident that this can actually be the solution that we are looking for in terms of, hosting our entire application on top of the chain.
Awesome. Great. Nice to hear you. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Exactly. I want to ask you, for users who don't know anything about the project, anything about GoBazzinga, because it's an app that started like last year, or not last year, but the last 2 or 3 years. It's pretty new, same as in general Web3 and all the dApps. And you think GoBazzinga in the easy way, we say that GoBazzinga is much more than a decentralized TikTok. It's not just a decentralized TikTok, it's much more. For example, it's not just a social media, it's a content speculator platform. As you said before, you have tokens and the users can take advantage about the tokens. How it works, this part, because how it works, the tokens, and how are distributed among the users. I understand that users that create content have more power because maybe they can get more tokens, but how the people, like just the viewers, can take advantage about the tokens and participate on the on the governance of GoBazzinga, because at the end of the day, GoBazzinga is like it's for everybody, right?
Right.
It's not a centralized app. It's everybody has part of GoBazzinga, right?
Right. So to understand, it's actually a very interesting question. How does the passive observers or the regular users take advantage of the tokens or the ecosystem? So, as you rightly said, GoBazzinga is not just a decentralized TikTok on, IC. It's significantly more than that. To understand, I think, GoBazzinga in a very simple term, imagine TikTok being fused with a fantasy league, right? So if you combine the two of them, wherein you have social media or short video social media on one end, and speculation on the other end, speculation on the ability to bet on these short videos, that is where you complete the entire proposition of GoBazzinga. Now let's take an example to understand how this process works. Let us say David is a user. He comes on board, puts up a short video content, right? Now, when David creates a content, it acts like any other TikTok or Instagram reels for David for now. There are, let's say, two other users, Max and Utkarsh, let's put it this way, right?
Yeah.
Wherein now Max and Utkarsh can look at David's content, obviously consume that content, but they can also bet on it, saying that whether David's content is hot or not. So now I, as a user, as a passive user, I can go onto the platform GoBazzinga, right? Bet on the content that is already there by saying whether the content is hot or not. And I can stake my tokens behind that bet. So I can say, I can vote for hot and put up 10 tokens. At the end of the hour, so the results are calculated every hour, right? At the completion of the hour, whichever side gets the most number of votes, not the most number of tokens, but the most number of votes, wins. So if I voted for hot and hot wins, I get double the reward back. So if I stake 10, I'll get 10 back, 10 additional 10 back. So 20 back.
Yeah.
Right. So this way, despite not getting involved in the social media ecosystem, as a passive user, I'm still able to take advantage of that ecosystem.
Sounds really nice.
Yeah. Right. So that is how, because I'm earning tokens, with despite being a passive user, I am still able to participate in the governance, right? Because I hold some tokens. I can participate in the governance of the entire ecosystem as well.
Okay. Awesome. Also, that something is really interesting too is the content moderation, because it's something pretty difficult, right? It's a challenge for, in general, for Web3, the content moderation, and try to avoid the counterfeits, and in general, the wrong way of the application, right? How you avoid the spam, propagation of improper content, and in general, how GoBazzinga solves this problem?
Right. So this was actually our project that we submitted for the Supernova hackathon as well. The decentralized content moderation piece. So what we built for content moderation is actually a two-layer solution for the platform. So the first layer is essentially an artificial intelligence layer, which screens the videos as they're getting uploaded. So whenever you upload a video, it goes through an AI layer, which filters the content for the NFSW content, basically nudity, gore, violence, or any other objectionable content in general. Now, after that content has gone through the filtering through the AI layer, some users may still find it objectionable. It is very possible. Political content is something which might not qualify for NFSW, but might still be objectionable for some user. So in that case, a user can report that content. There is a threshold in terms of how many number of reports the content piece has to get to be removed from the regular feed, right? So once the content is receives the more reports than the threshold, or more users report the content than as required, the content is removed from the regular feed and put into the moderation feed. Now that is over. In the moderation feed again, the users can actually participate in the moderation by staking tokens. So whenever if I am somebody who's participating in the moderation process, I'll go there, vote on whether this content should be approved or rejected, put up tokens to back my claim, right? So and the number of tokens is practically unlimited. I can put up as many tokens as I want to back my claim. Once the process is complete or the time runs out, and the votes are calculated again, the side with the higher number of votes wins, not the tokens. Irrespective of the token stake, the side with the higher number of votes will win, right? And the tokens from the losing side are then redistributed on the winning side in the same proportion as the stake token. So for example, if there are, let's say, 3 users who voted for reject or approves, let's say, and 2 voters voted for rejection, and the 3 users, let's say, put up 20, 30, 40 tokens for each of them respectively. Now, if on the other side we have, let's say, 60 tokens being put up or 90 tokens being put up on the reject side, they will get distributed in the same ratio as 20, 30, 40. Right? So by doing this, what we are able to do is, one, we prevent whales from influencing the decision, because despite the number of tokens that I'm staking, my vote still counts as one. I can stake 100,000 tokens, I can stake 10 tokens, but my vote will still count as one, right? So you take care of the whales. On the other hand, you actually ascertain that there are not the bots are not participating in the process, because at the end of the day, you have to stake real tokens. If the bots are participating, they'll not be able to stake tokens, right? There has to be a human who is participating in the process to be able to stake tokens and take that decision.
And also, how manage, because it's also a difficult thing to manage, right? The copyright. How GoBazzinga avoid or know exactly the copyright? Because now for sure, we have a lot of songs and different content in social media. That's pretty difficult, right? Manage the copyright and license and everything. How Web3 can manage the copyright? It's also like a big challenge, right?
Right. So in terms of, if you're lifting a part of, let's say, a movie or a video from somewhere, that automatically gets filtered out in the AI layer. The AI is, capable enough of filtering out this kind of content as well. In addition to this, as far as the sounds and everything is concerned, so for example, music, like we have music on TikTok also. I can add music to my videos on TikTok as well. And all of that is already licensed content. So TikTok actually, ties up with uh, the the music creators or the music producers at the back to be able to use that music within their app. We can do this. We can do a very similar thing as well, right? So copyright is something that can be filtered out using the same process as the content moderation to a very large extent. However, if there is something which still filters through, we rely on our users. The best part about blockchain communities is that you rely on your users to help you out, weed out the unnecessary or the unwanted content on the platform.
Uh-huh. Okay. And you have plans, right, for the short term, mid term, and long term. How you see, if you have a crystal ball, right? How you think in 3 or 5 years GoBazzinga is what is exactly your plans for expansion? Because now you are the app, it works around the world, right? It's not only
Right.
in Europe or in North America or in India, right? Anybody can enter into the app and share videos or create content.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
So, we when we talk about the short video, social media, we actually live in very interesting times. So definitely, though we start with the US and India as our initial catchment markets, the idea is to build a worldwide community, or a worldwide platform for the creators and users alike. Also, when we look at the Web2 platforms, so for example, there is a lot of conversation going around the world, with various countries looking at banning TikTok because of espionage or Chinese espionage or something of those kind of threats. Now, in India, we have already seen this happen, right? Wherein TikTok was banned, and then it left a huge vacuum, which was filled up by the other players in the market. And these players actually managed to grow significantly big right now. So there are, several of them have actually grown into unicorns or even gone beyond unicorns at this point of time. So as far as the market is concerned, obviously it's a growing market. It's a significantly fast growing market that we're looking to capture. And with obviously the more and more awareness being generated about the problems in the existing social media, like privacy or moderation and governance and all of these things, and more and more people becoming aware about the Web3 solutions, being able to offer that, we're looking at a very bright future for ourselves actually.
Yeah. And then, you have any plan of for advertising, or because now is I know, like, you have how much users you have now?
So right now we have around 10,000 or 11,000 users on the platform, but then that's also a public beta that we are working on right now. We're actually in the process of developing the actual or the alpha version for the app or the final version for the app, which should be out, I think, by the month of October itself. And then we start onboarding users in that final app. But even on the public beta, we have around 12,000 or 11 or 12,000 users on the platform.
Uh-huh. And you have plans to do any agreement or join with other company about the NFTs or with other big project on the ecosystem, or not by now? Is something like...
No, absolutely. We would love to host other projects and collaborate with other projects. Obviously, when we look at IC ecosystem, I think Discover is a beautiful example of this. How they have really integrated themselves with the ecosystem, and they're enabling other projects, and even Definity itself, the foundation itself, is utilizing their platform quite productively. We are also would be very happy to collaborate with as many projects as possible. And in terms of NFTs or even just regular collaborations, whether these projects would want to use our platform or our audience for spreading the word, more than happy to do that, and be whatever benefit we can get to the community as far as possible.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, also I see like to rise the ICP ecosystem to the top, you have the entire open source. Everything is available, right, on GitHub, and also in Internet Computer Content Validation Bootstrap. That's really amazing, right? For any developer that want to know more about the project or collaborate or whatever, everything is open source, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Perfect. That's all for today, Utkarsh. I really appreciate your join us with us today and talk about your project, about GoBazzinga. Honestly, sounds really interesting. I think it's one of the best projects on the ecosystem. Yeah, take my attention from the beginning, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Javier. The words really mean a lot to us. Again, really happy to, it was an exciting conversation that we had. And I'm sure, if you hook up with Rishi, I think he'll be able to give you significantly more insight about the project and the ecosystem in general as well.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you so much, Utkarsh. Okay, we are in touch. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.